You damn lucky you got an ear left. So you can hear episode 008 of A Review to a Kill, which is a look back on the James Bond film franchise presented to you by fanboysanonymous.com. I'd tell you who I am, but names is for tombstones, baby. Then again, you already know I'm Tony Mango. I'm joined by Callum Wiggins.
What's up, hunky?
Right on, brother. And Robert DeFelice.
Me. Close off.
Wait a minute. You're not my instructor. Where's Mr. Bleeker? What we're talking about today, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail and everything else that's going on here, is we're talking about Live and Let Die, the first of the Roger Moore James Bond films, the 8th film in the franchise, the 9th episode of A Review to a Kill. Some other numbers I'll just toss out. We're going to do what we normally do here. We're going to break down the 7 different elements. We're going to talk about the movie from top to bottom, talk about whether or not we think this is shaken or stirred, and everything else. And we invite you to join in on the discussion by leaving a comment below. Go ahead and do that in particular on the YouTube video. And while you're over there, if you like this, hit the like button. That's kind of the point. That's why it's the like button. Hit the share button if you got any family or friends or anybody that you think would be enjoying this series as well. If you feel so inclined to join us on the Patreon side of things to help us grow a little bit and share some spare change that you got with us, open up your wallets over there, patreon.com/fanboysanonymous, and you can help sponsor some things going forward. Make sure that at the very least that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel here. Ring that little notification bell as well. And if you want to pick up a t-shirt, check out the merchandise on TeePublic and Redbubble. Merchandise stuff and everything else out of the plugs, out of the way. Let's get into the movie. Let's start off with the foreign language titles. I'm enjoying looking at these because these are things I never really looked at before. But the working title of the book was The Undertaker's Wind, which immediately makes me think of The Undertaker from pro wrestling. You know, if people aren't aware, smarkoutmoment.com is the other thing that we do here under a mango tree. So, you know, if you are into The Undertaker and Mark Calloway and everything else that's happening with pro wrestling, The Undertaker's Wind. It's The Undertaker.
He doesn't have much wind these days.
Yeah, it's if he farts in a match or something, I guess. Some of the other titles, though, were Kill to Live in Turkey. Greece titled this James Bond Agent 007 Live and Let Others Die. Kind of a mouthful. France had this as Live and Leave to Die. Poland had Allow to Leave Alone to Die.
Oh my god.
Which is pretty depressing. But easily my favorite goes to Japan. The Dead Slave, It Is Them to Die. Jesus. Why the hell would they name it that?
I don't know.
The Dead Slave, It Is Them to Die. Gee, that's just fucking brutal, isn't it?
Yep.
I can't imagine Paul McCartney sang all those words in a song.
What does it matter to you? If they're dead to slave, it is them to die. It's like, what? So the title. Let's talk about the title before we get into the movie. It's one of my favorite titles in the franchise. What do you guys think?
It's great.
It's a cool title, yeah. Feels like it would just like fit as like a standard just movie outside of the franchise.
I love my puns. It's a great turn of phrase. I think it's got like a violence to it, obviously, but at the same time, it's got kind of a poetic element. And I like when the movies are like that, like, you know, like Tomorrow Never Dies, World's Not Enough. World's Not Enough doesn't really have too much of a violent edge to it, but to me, those are my favorite types of Bond titles, rather than something like Goldfinger, where it's just like, I wonder if this one's about Goldfinger, you know? Or when you get a little bit too, where you're trying too hard, and it's like, to die is to live, another die today because dying is tomorrow, and you know, and then you're just like, all right, you're getting into parody territory here. Live and Let Die, though, great title. And the second of the books. So they don't follow too much of this. They do take elements and they put them in different movies. There's a character in another movie that gets partially mangled by sharks, which would have happened in this story. There's characters that pop up in other films that are kind of inspired by other characters that are in this. But we'll talk about that a little bit here and there. First things first, let's talk about the gun barrel. We got a new Bond, so we got a new gun barrel, because it wouldn't make any sense if it was, Connery. No hat, no jumping, no kneeling. What do you guys think about Moore doing this kind of, I guess you'd say, rigid sort of pose for the gun barrel?
I didn't like it as much. Just thought it was almost too stiff.
It's more what you'd expect going forward with the James Bond gun barrel thing than the leap to the knee that Connery would do. So I liked it in that aspect of it. I think one thing I noticed about the Moore ones, the fact that he grabs his arm, when he's shooting,
steadies the shot.
Yeah, which I guess is kind of what you'd expect. This one felt more like what I would imagine needs to be over the Connery ones.
My least favorite ones are the ones that are a little bit more over the top. Like, I think that Craig is sort of, he looks like he just wants to get it done, kind of. I love Brosnan's. He just seems like this cool, suave type of dude. But the Moore one, I kind of like how he is a little rigid, because it makes it sort of seem to me like he's steadied his shot. I don't love the score version that they deal with here, and we'll talk about more music a little bit later on, but there, it's a different incarnation of the Bond theme with every gun barrel for the most part, and this one's not my favorite. We start off with the United Nations, where someone replaces the United Kingdom's representative's earpiece with something that makes this cartoony sound, and he just keels over dead. It's just like, he's like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
It's voodoo.
I mean, I'm going to say this a lot throughout the entire film, just as a spoiler, but why the fuck did they do that?
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Because it doesn't lead into anything. I mean, obviously they talk about how like certain number of agents or people over there have died in different areas, but it's not like this guy had any backstory or like was seen as being particularly relevant. He was just the UK representative at the UN. Obviously that's a big deal, but it's like, okay, it's not like we heard the words UN throughout the entire rest of the film.
Yeah, or
But he
like
was
the
one of their
UN
agents,
is
right?
stopping something. Yeah, the first three, the three people that get killed at the beginning of it are all MI6 agents or British agents in some fashion.
Why is an MI6 agent the head of like our representative at the United Nations? Surely this is a profession who's supposed to be working in the shadows.
I don't think he's supposed to be MI6. I think that he's just supposed to be, because I think that the line is something like 3 of our men or something. So it's just sort of like, well, he's a UK guy,
Going vague enough.
I still just don't understand how pushing a little plunger on something where if anything, he'd be like, my ear. Not just like, keel over. Most people don't even bat an eye. They're just sort of, all right, what happened to Bill or whatever.
I wanted to create like a meme version of that where it's just like they put the thing on and then it's just that person whispering, "It's free real estate."
Or the I love refrigerators. Hail Hydra,
Yeah.
Or some terrible song. Like they, I don't know, what's like
Friday by Rebecca Black.
Yeah, version of that. One of the people that actually bothers to look up is the representative from the Caribbean island of San Monique. You guys ever been?
No.
No, and I don't really feel compelled to after this.
Because it's not real. It's
Okay, that's good.
They were like, we can't make one of these actual countries make it seem like their leader is this drug lord and all that, so let's just make one up. It sounds real though, San Monique. Sounds like you'd get a pamphlet and it'd be like, visit San Monique. It's got these beautiful, I don't know, snake dens.
That where you going for the honeymoon time?
I mean, maybe. If I could, try to convince her. I'll be like, look, you like dark macabre stuff? There's Baron Savity. We'll do this weird funky dance. You can take a ride down on a grave. So this is the fastest that we've ever been introduced to a Bond girl. And I think a main villain, too. We're 1 minute and 57 seconds in, and we see both of them. It's pretty different. Pretty much all the other ones, it's like just some goon. Bond kills a mook, or whatever. And we get like, there you go. There's the main villain. There's the main girl, and a guy just going like, my ears. But we continue on with a couple different deaths. One of them is an agent is checking out the Filet of Soul. Great pun. Love the name of that restaurant. And there's this great sequence where there's a death parade march going on, and he says, whose funeral is it? The dude next to him, yours, just stabs him. Ugh. He's dead immediately. I don't understand how they're able to put the coffin on top of the guy and pick him up.
I'd like to revisit talking about The Undertaker for a second, because
The Undertaker's wind.
I now think that all of the Undertaker disappearing acts make perfect sense, because clearly in 1973 they were just able to put a casket over somebody and pick them up in the casket. Nobody's the wiser.
I know how they did the stunt for the actual thing is they had these bars inside that he grabbed onto and then they just picked him up. But like, even if that was like a hollow casket, how would he not just like, they got to get underneath him for that,
Maybe it's one of those contraptions that can open when you push one way, but then it stays shut when you push force in the other way.
It's got like a little clasp or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, listen, they've got so much more fish to fry.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to dwell on that one too much. Also, this scene takes on much more, an entirely different meaning. Again, I'm bringing up another meme of that regard as well, but that meme of the guys dancing with the coffin on their shoulders.
I forgot about that, yeah. Yeah, because they just go, I mean, this is the way that apparently some things, I've never been to New Orleans, but that they do the whole like celebrate the dead type of thing. And I think it's great when it's just like, like, and it's just like, oh, okay, there's a funeral and people are crying. As soon as they pick up the guy, it's just like, yeah, the guy's dead. When the saints kind of, happy. And then finally in San Monique, there's a ritual of some sorts. I don't know what going on, and this guy gets, I guess you could say, bitten by a snake. It's a pretty terrible way of.
By a plastic snake.
It's pretty bad, isn't it?
This entire movie feels like a filler episode of a great series that you just go, I don't know, fuck that one.
I have to say, like, I was doing breaking it down bit by bit, but as an overall thing about this movie is unparodiable because it's a parody of itself.
And you know what though? It's so enjoyable. Like,
we'll talk about aspects of it, but it's just, I mean, the only way that you can actually do an effective parody of this movie is to try and make it serious.
Yeah, to do a complete opposite. Yeah,
because this movie, like, I knew it was going to change once Moore took over, because I know enough to know it's going to change. I didn't realize it did 180 in like a couple of scenes of this movie. It's a completely different franchise now.
Yeah, and it's so weird to follow up Diamonds Are Forever with this, isn't it? Because it's like Diamonds is batshit crazy, and on Her Majesty's Secret Service, it has some weird moments here and there, but it's primarily a serious movie. Diamonds Are Forever is just nuts, and it's just poorly written, and it's just garbage. And this one, I feel like it's not badly written. It's just weird.
I kind of feel like it's Bond crossed with Police Academy.
A little bit, yeah. I never read the book. I said that before. I've never read any of the books. But I know that the book is not as weird as this is. There's weird elements to it, and some of the stuff does carry over, but their philosophy was pretty much like, well, if we can throw a joke in there, let's try to throw a joke, and this would be kind of interesting and whatever. And
The whole movie is pretty much a joke.
the movies get into that rhythm even more. Like, there's not a single Roger Moore film that's truly serious. So this is like,
You don't say.
this is about as serious as they get for his run.
Oh my god.
There are very serious moments in the other movies, and there are more serious plots, but we've got a guy who wants to blow up the world. We've got fish people, kind of like. Yeah.
I understand why he was the Bond chosen to be in Spice World. Okay.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
So let's talk about the opening titles. People will consider this blasphemy, but I don't love the song "Live and Let Die."
So I asked you about this the other day, and I just assumed it was because of your unreasonable hatred of the Beatles and all things Beatle. But after you watch this movie, and for the 100th time they're going dude, I went, okay, I see the problem. It's too much.
This theme is 90% awesome. There is so much to like about this theme, and then it goes, well, what does it matter? And then it just completely kills it for me. It's just that I don't know what in their mind, who, like the guys putting this together, thought, yeah, we need to do this little transition into like a little bit of a jokey, like folky aspects of this entire song, and just like, no, the rest of it's so good. Why do you ruin it like that?
Yeah, when you do the whole beginning of it, you know you did, and everything like up to that point, say live and let die, bah, bah. It's awesome. I don't like the transition though, right after that, where it just goes da 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 da, because it just switches tempo a little bit. That's not the end of the world, but it very much once you get to the what does it matter to you, that kills everything. And then it just goes back to the super fast part and whatever, and I don't like a single Beatles song. I know people are going to go crazy about that. I'll make you feel even worse. I don't like Elvis either. And people are usually like, oh, is it Elvis or the Beatles? And I'm like, you could take both of them and,
All right, you're wrong on the Beatles. I'll play with you a little bit on Elvis, because
Can't Help Falling in Love with You is an absolutely amazing song. One of the best songs ever written, as long as somebody other than Elvis sings it. Like that kind of a thing. And I like Hey Jude, but the only version of Hey Jude that I like, that I've come across, is an instrumental.
I don't know why the one part of Hey Jude you don't like is the part that everybody loves.
What, the Hey Jude, 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 that thing?
That's the na-na part, Tony. Everybody loves
The
that.
na-na-na, yeah, I don't really like that either.
That's wrong with you.
But yeah, I mean, like, I get why this song is super popular because it was Paul McCartney and the Wings, but just because it's popular doesn't mean it's the best. And to me, it ranks pretty low on the list. It's not, most people, it's like towards the top, if not their favorite. Out of the ones that we've had so far, the only ones that I have it above are Underneath the Mango Tree, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and We Have All the Time in the World. And I honestly, it's about 50-50 with We Have All the Time in the World.
It's going to be near the top for me. I'll put it right under Goldfinger right now. I mean, this is a great song.
Above Diamonds?
Above Diamonds, yeah.
I gotta move that down on your list then.
I mean, it's not going to be at my top. Both of you already know what my top is, and we'll get to it. But this is a great song. I just feel like they played it a little too much throughout this entire film.
The score itself is done by George Martin, and I don't like the score in this movie either. I wanted John Barry. This guy's too much of like a 70s vibe, and it's a little bit too hokey.
I think it kind of fit the theme, what they were going for this one. It's not the greatest, and it was really super apparent to me because again, I just don't listen to music when films outside of the title thing. But yeah, so it didn't offend me.
Well, they're knee deep in the 70s. We have left the swinging 60s, we were on to a very funky and very strange 1970s, apparently. And, like Callum says, I don't pay attention to too much, but I can understand why you say it feels too 70s, but I guess they were trying to move it into that decade.
By the time we get to For Your Eyes Only, you're going to be able to hear it no matter what, because then we're full-blown funky 70s, and you got like kind of music and stuff. That one's the worst. Director Guy Hamilton, his first reaction on hearing the Live and Let Die theme was, yeah, that's good for a demo, but when are you going to do the real record? And they were pretty much like, that's the thing. And, you know, there was like a little bit of pushback or whatever. They didn't want this to be Paul McCartney singing. They wanted a black singer, somebody like a Diana Ross. Diana Ross was also apparently going to play Solitaire for a little bit. But McCartney was pretty much like, well, if you want me to do this, I'm doing it. And that's it. So I think we might have had a better thing if maybe some other things could have been tweaked. But yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed to hear that we're not putting this as the top of the top, the best ever. I'm not a fan. I do like the visuals. The woman turning into the flaming skull. I like that. That's cool.
Just giant eyes staring at you.
Yeah.
Constantly.
They go back to it, I think, 3 times in the thing because it's a one idea they had, but it is a cool idea. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the visuals were good. It was definitely more impactful than previous Bond movies.
Yeah, and I mean, you still have the naked women silhouettes, and it's still kind of the same sort of stuff, but you got a little bit of some fire.
That's going to be the same for a while. So
yeah, I think
we got to kind of get used to those, really.
You pretty much don't get too crazy beyond naked women silhouette until maybe Goldeneye.
I mean, I've seen the one for the world is not enough, and that's weird. So
yeah, then you get, well, instead of naked women silhouettes, it's oil women silhouettes, and I mean they all have basically naked women dancing around. That's the trope more than anything. It's just how they do it. Sometimes it's just a silhouette. Sometimes they're floating in water. Sometimes they're floating in space. Sometimes
they're doing gymnastics on a gun.
Sometimes they're doing that. Sometimes an octopus pops out of the gun. Yes, it's what it is.
Oh, good.
But the intro is out of the way, outside of the fact that we need to intro our new Bond. In a different parallel reality, it's not Roger Moore, it's Clint Eastwood. They offered him the part.
So bad. I mean, to be fair, like Moore's an acquired taste, but again, you just shouldn't have an American in this role.
No.
It just doesn't work.
I can't imagine any American being able to pull off Bond. I can't imagine, most people being able to pull off Bond, but especially like a Clint Eastwood, where he's, very like gritting his teeth, what do you make my day kind of guy. He's like a cowboy type. If he would just be, oh, hey Q, whatever, like that, no. I can't imagine that whatsoever. Burt Reynolds apparently was offered the part too. Again,
so ridiculous.
Can't imagine Burt Reynolds with that stupid mustache.
I mean, just I mean, you talk about like an alternate reality. In another alternate reality, Roger Moore's already been Bond.
Yeah, he was offered the part several movies before this. I think it was the first one he might have been offered would have been You Only Live Twice. Yeah. And he had to have prior commitments with The Saint, and I forget the name of the other show. Persuaders, I think. Never seen it. So they wanted him for a while. And that's kind of a running theme in this franchise too, is they talk to these people, they want them, and then they have to wait a little bit. They do it with Dalton, and they do it with Brosnan. They didn't do it with Connery. Not with Connery, with Craig, if I remember correctly. I think he kind of just came out of the blue like after Brosnan, but at least with this, they were looking at Eastwood, which I can't imagine that playing well.
Eastwood feels like he's like a bizarro Bond, like maybe the star of another franchise. Like, the only way I can compare it to is a video game thing for some reason, but yeah, Assassin's Creed was born out of, well, we're gonna make a Prince of Persia game, and he'll be an assassin this time, and then it's never mind, we'll just make a whole nother franchise. That's what I feel like Clint Eastwood as Bond would be. It's like, oh, let's have Eastwood be Bond. Yeah, fuck it. This is a whole nother franchise now.
He's like, you know what? I'll make my own James Bond with blackjack hookers.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't the regular Bond have enough blackjack? in it?
No, he has Chemenda Fur.
He doesn't need to pay for sex.
Right.
It's true.
He just says, I'll buy you a drink. And then she's like, all right.
Oh no, we have the best seduction in this entire franchise so far coming up,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about that.
So here's a little bit that's weird. Roger Moore's 5 years older than Connery was in Diamonds Are Forever.
You don't say.
I think he looks younger.
He does look younger in this one. I mean, to be fair, Connery looks pretty old by the end of that thing, but that doesn't last long for Moore.
No.
But yeah, he looks fine in this movie. He looks like he's a pretty esteemed one.
More ages between The Man with the Golden Gun and The Spy Who Loved Me. He ages like 10 years. And then from Spy Who Loved Me to like For Your Eyes Only, he ages another 5. And then from For Your Eyes Only to View to a Kill, it's like another 10. It's insane. I think he looks pretty good here, though. And in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Did they go downhill after that for more?
Yep.
Poor guy.
So he is very, very English.
Yeah.
So obviously Connery had the Scottish brogue going on, and Lazenby, he did a fair enough British accent, even though he was Australian, so slipping in every now and again. Moore is so what you'd expect for, like, basically, if you just went up to any American, this is probably what they assume every British person sounds like.
Either that or like full blown Cockney chimney sweep
Yeah.
from era past kind of thing.
Yeah, he's just very, very posh, upper class in the way that he speaks. He just doesn't feel in any way as visceral as Connery could sometimes sound.
No, I mean, they wrote the Moore films completely different than they wrote the Connery films, because they even talk about this. I forget if it's Tom Mankiewicz or if it's Hamilton, but somebody in the commentary had talked about it. They're like, if we wrote a scene where Bond sleeps with a woman, stabs her, and then says to the person, I don't have anything to cut my meat with, Connery could pull it off. We couldn't do that with Moore. He would just seem like a jerk. You know? Kind of want to see that scene now, though.
No, he doesn't look like he comes across as a guy who's particularly threatening.
No.
He comes across as very suave. He has that side of the Bond down pat. He can do the suave, sophisticated talk. He can cut the jokes. He can do all that other stuff. But he never comes across in any part of this movie like he feels like, okay, if you mess with him, then he's going to fuck you up.
And this is probably the roughest and toughest that he seems in the series.
Oh, good. That's another great sign.
Oh my god. Yeah, these movies are about to go real downhill.
It's weird. It's downhill, but it's also uphill because it's fun. So it's kind of
because and let's put it this way: you watch these movies and they're fucking hilarious in certain aspects, but you kind of feel like they're not supposed to be hilarious. It's like
sometimes,
oh, they're actually trying to make these movies seriously. It almost feels like I feel like watching this. I feel like I'm reacting the same way that if I was watching an Austin Powers or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, that's funny. All this stuff's like just ridiculous. Some of the stuff that's happening is making me laugh, but I'm actually watching an actual Bond movie, not a parody of a Bond movie. So,
keep in mind the idea
wrong.
of reacting to Bond when we come to Moonraker. It's going to make a lot more sense when we get to Moonraker. There's a certain reaction in that movie that is infamous as all hell. So rather than do what they did the last few times, and with Dr. No, where there's this like mystique to introducing Bond, because remember, we're on Her Majesty's Secret Service, they do the whole thing where they don't show him, he's obscured, and eventually he pops up and it's just, hi, I'm Bond, I guess. And then Diamonds Are Forever, they got that whole shadowy mystery of who we're watching or whatever. They just decide, you know what, fuck it. like people know what's going on now. We're 8 films deep into this. Let's just show Roger Moore in bed with a woman, and she wakes up, he wakes up, whatever. She's immediately like, one more time again. It's just like, you just woke up, huh? Sex? And someone rings the doorbell, and it's like in the line he says, "You're not married by any chance, are you?" But it's M. And M is, put your clothes on and pack and whatever. You got to pack for a trip. A bunch of people got killed. Bond's got a great line here, too. He says one of the people was Baines, and he goes, "Oh, Baines. I rather liked Baines. We share the same bootmaker." Just, okay. M's like, all right. And he distracts M from the woman that he's bedded with some coffee with this espresso machine that is like this complicated type of thing back in the day. I like that M, even with this Bond, is so pissed at him all the time. Is that all it does? Just
Yeah, their relationship is really frosty at this point.
Yeah,
cantankerous
why?
as hell, right? He's like, "You want some coffee, sir? You woke me up in the middle at, I don't know, 2 a.m. or whatever the hell." And he's just sort of like, "Yeah, I'll have some coffee from this fucking machine." It's like,
If I was Bond, I'd be like, "We just met. I'm not the other guy."
yeah. That's never happened to the other guy.
This happened exactly to the other guy.
So it turns out the woman that's in bed with him is an Italian agent from Bond's last mission named Miss Caruso. And we just don't get any kind of real information about that. It's kind of like Goldfinger at the beginning of it. It's just, whatever. And Moneypenny's here. She catches Caruso sneaking around, trying to grab her dress and hiding in the closet, whatever. I love Moneypenny. Moneypenny's great. I like what she does here. I'm disappointed, though. We don't get Q.
No Q in this movie.
We do get gadgets, but no Q.
Yeah.
We'll get one bad gadget in particular that we'll obviously be talking about now.
So the watch has a magnet in it. They do this whole thing with M, of course, being... Now, M gets what this whole shit's about. Like, he's M. And he's still just like, the fucking taxpayers are going to pay for your watch. And Bond demonstrates it by attracting M's spoon from his saucer. And he's like, "Oh my God," or whatever.
My spoon, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bond says it's powerful enough, supposedly, to deflect a bullet from long range.
I'd like to try that out right now.
Yeah, totally contemptuous.
I mean, how does it deflect the bullet? I can imagine it like attracts the bullet towards it, because that's what it seems to do, is pull metal things closer to it. But I don't know how it, like, does it have a reverse polarity to it that can send bullets flying away and stuff like that? And if so, why does Bond never use that to that purpose in the entire movie?
Right.
Although I do appreciate how much this gadget is used in this movie.
It is one of the better used gadgets so far. And one of the things that, if that would be like a regular going forward, you'd be like, I get it. That should be standard kind of equipment, Everybody gets that briefcase from Russia with Love. Everybody gets the rebreather, and everybody gets the magnet watch. Like, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
I don't really know what Bond's done to him to make him want to test out the theory of the bullet, but he's like, "Here, can you have some coffee, sir? I'll put some milk in it." And he's like, "I'd like to shoot you in the face." Just sort of. Moneypenny's a good wing girl, though. She makes sure that M gets his coat without seeing Caruso.
Yeah, she's doing her service for Bond there.
Yeah. She really is the most loyal of all the Bond girls.
She really is. And Bond uses the magnet in the watch to unzip Caruso's dress. And she
Which
says,
was brilliant.
he has a delicate touch, and he says, "Sheer magnetism, darling."
That's one of his best lines in the entire movie.
That is pure Roger Moore right there. His Bond in a nutshell. Almost every single line that he has like that is delivered the same way, and usually with darling as his go-to affectionate term for women. I think in this movie alone, he might call everybody darling. He might say darling to Solitaire like 7 times or so. But that's such a great line. Sheer magnetism, darling. Great.
I mean, it could be worse, because Sheer magnetism, sugar tits.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then they transition to a plane taking off and a woman saying, "A man comes."
He does.
On the plane as well, Bond.
Oh, the innuendo back then when they used to try to do shit like that. You know, this kind of implication of like, all right, they're going to have sex, so let's show a plane. A man comes. He sure did.
I like the jokes. I like a man comes. Now he's getting on a plane.
Yeah.
Just make it obvious.
It's so good. I love that. But this woman's looking at tarot cards. She's reading that Bond's going to travel their way. He's bringing violence and destruction with him. And Bond goes to New York. He's heading to Felix Leiter. David Hedison, the guy who plays Felix, is my favorite Felix Leiter, but not in this movie. He's the only one other than Jeffrey Wright with the Craig films to actually return in a future film. He pops up in License to Kill. And I think he's at his best there. I like this Felix so much better than the one that we got like in Goldfinger, for instance, or Diamonds Are Forever. How do you guys feel about Felix?
Pretty good.
Definitely better than the last one.
Yeah.
I would say he's still a bit incompetent.
Yeah.
And especially the part where, like, hey, what did you do, my friend? All that other stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, just going to leave it there.
We also get Bond's cab driver is getting killed with the car pulls up on the side, shoots him with a dart out of the mirror, and Bond has to reach into the front seat, grab the steering wheel. Not the best car sequence, but it's over pretty quick. It's okay. Yeah.
There are so many chase sequences in this entire movie, but that one doesn't really register at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even better than the chase sequence, though, is the line afterward that Felix wants an APB on a white pimp mobile.
Yeah. and then that kicks off quite an interesting film. Am I wrong here? Anyone feeling that here?
It's something very of its time, as many of the Bond movies have been so far.
Mm-hmm. There's a running theme with Roger Moore's films where pretty much each of them is inspired by something that's big at the time. So these are like the blaxploitation type of films. The next film's going to be very much, hey, Hong Kong is in. Let's do like kung fu stuff. Then we're going to get into eventually Star Wars is really big. So let's do Moonraker, that kind of a thing. This one's like the blaxploitation stuff, and they blaxploit. It's CIA's listening into Kananga. He's well aware. He's got a pre-recorded tape set up to waste their time, which I totally love. And I love Felix's line about how Kananga is knitting a flag in there.
Do you want to talk about Kananga now, or do you want to wait until a bit more of a prominent part to start actually talking about it?
I think we should wait.
Okay, that's fine.
We could dive a little deeper into some of those things. I just like that Kananga's got this tape. He's just like, and I think, clicking the button. Just sort of like, all right, now I can let my hair down.
It's really well put together. And then like Bond arrives at a voodoo shop where they've tracked the Pimpmobile.
The Occult Voodoo Shop. The Occult. Another great name.
And he just goes in there and he's just like, I'm just browsing. It's just like as if like a proper English gentleman, because only an English gentleman would go into a shop and just say, oh yeah, I'm just browsing and stuff like that. I'm browsing around a voodoo shop.
In Harlem.
Yeah. And
I love. He grabs this arbitrary snake thing and tells the cashier woman to gift wrap it lengthwise, if you don't mind.
What a dick.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean, lengthwise?
It's there just so you can pop at him being an asshole.
He's such an ass. It's so good. There's a good little swerve here too, where the cashier's like, he's tailing, and another guy says, I've got him in my sights, and you're made to believe that they're working together, but it's actually two separate conversations because he's a CIA agent. So I like that little bit. That's cool.
But there's certain other ones that basically, because the cab driver, the Bond gets into tail, the
he's
crew.
the fucking best.
Yeah, oh, he's great, obviously. So gets the $20 out of him as well. Says for $20 he take one to a KKK cookout.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the exchange, the inflation rate is, but you're gonna have to give me a little more than $20 to do that. God, $20 and I'll go to a Ku Klux Klan cookout for you. Jesus.
Then you're introduced to other such great lines as 125th, you got a honky on your tail. And another one says, it's easy, it's just like following a cue ball.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna try to look up the inflation thing here.
Well, I'll just talk a little bit about the fact that you have... So this guy who's driving the cab is also part of Kananga's crew. So basically, you're listening to this, and obviously I know you talk about the CIA agent being a bit of a red herring in that regards, but you're basically listening to this, watching this thinking, okay, so every single like black character in this movie is associated with the bad guys. And that's just like, okay.
So in 1973, $20 would be worth what today is $117.83.
You're still gonna need
Still
to
KKK. Ku Klux Klan cookout. I don't think I'd do that for $120. Yeah.
Hey, this is Harlem, man.
Right. And it does make you feel like every single black person in this entire film is a villain. So at least they've got Strutter, which he'll introduce himself a little bit later on. But Bond heads
in Harlem.
Bond heads into the Filet of Soul, and he's the only white guy there.
Wrote my notes. He sticks out like a white thumb.
I like that they charge him extra for no ice for his bourbon, which he doesn't even get to drink.
Because he sits down at a booth and the booth just swings round. It's just like it's like a Scooby-Doo movie all of a sudden.
Right. And that when Seth does that, we're in the lair of Mr. Big. We're also introduced to the main girl that we've seen earlier, Solitaire. He introduces himself. My name's Bond. Takes a moment to look around. James Bond. I like how he does that. It kind of makes the breathing pause make sense instead of why would he
looking around. Are you ready? I'm gonna fucking do it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
My name's Bond. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. James Bond. I forgot to say my name's James. Let's talk about Solitaire, because this is where we really get to see more about her. In the book, she's apparently named Simone Luttrell, and Solitaire is just her nickname. They don't bother with that in the story here. They're just like, it's Solitaire, whatever. She's a tarot card reader with psychic powers, because we're going there. Psychic powers are real in this universe.
Yep. She can accurately predict the future through the tarot cards. She's played by Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour, beautiful woman.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely. She's the first person out of this movie that I know of outside of the Bond universe, really.
Yeah, and there's a lot of striking women in this franchise. It's kind of one of the main appeals. Jane Seymour still looks good. She's like 80 or something, and it's like, wow, she's better looking than a lot of like 20-year-olds.
She's 70.
I'd say she's 70 right now.
70, okay.
But she does look great. It's like the only thing that's like just struck me is, hey, you got your tits out in Wedding Crashers. That's like.
And Wedding Crashers was like, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago or something. So it's like, even then she was playing like the, I don't know,
50-year-old woman,
Gilf character kind of thing, and you're like, yeah, there's Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. All right, yeah, so beautiful, beautiful woman. I mentioned before they were thinking about casting Diana Ross. We'll get into a more thing about that a little bit later on. I love how her cards have a little 007 pattern on it. It's a neat little detail. I didn't catch that the first time that I had seen the film years and years ago. I eventually, it took a couple viewings for me to go like, oh, look at that, 007 on the background.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
At some points in the movie, I don't know exactly when, she's dubbed by, you guessed it, Willard White.
Yeah.
So, Nikki Vanderzell again dubs her. Not for the whole movie, just parts of it. I don't know why.
I'm glad she's getting more work.
Yeah, she's
the star of this franchise.
She's in more Bond films than some of the Bonds. It seems kind
She
of
plays
crazy.
more characters than basically anybody.
Oh, yeah.
else. It's just like,
Easily plays more than anybody else. So Bond picks a card. He picks the Fool, and she says, "You found yourself." I like that. It's nice.
funny.
We're also introduced to the main henchman, Teehee.
So awesome.
Why is he named Teehee?
'Cause he laughs, he's smiling all the time.
Yeah, he's always laughing.
It's just, you couldn't have thought of a more menacing kind of name. Teehee. It's like,
Because the name is stupid, but that claw hand is just that's an iconic look.
it's a horrible prosthetic piece, but it's great.
It's horribly inefficient.
Yeah.
You'll find out, but it's like, but yeah, it's a cool visual.
They could have done a better job hiding his hand in it instead of having him clearly have his hand sticking further out, and it's longer than the rest of his arm and everything. But I like that he grabs the Bond's gun, bends it, and Bond's just like, all right, I guess I'll toss this in the trash. It's kind of pointless now. I like Teehee.
Yeah, he was really good. And then I just like afterwards, the door opens up and Mr. Big just walks out. He just sees the scene that's going on and says, "Yeah, go fuck him up or something, or just go kill Bond," and just walks back in.
Yeah, Bond tries to introduce himself. He's, doing his whole spiel. "My name's Bond. It names is for tombstones, baby. Y'all take this honky out and waste him now."
I love how Bond says, "Waste him." Is that a good thing?
Totally like that proper kind of thing.
I don't speak your lingo.
Yeah. Honky, huh?
Help me get with it, Jack.
Before they drag him off, Bond draws another card, and it's the lovers, the drawing of both of them. And he's just like, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. to fuck you.
No, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
We'll talk more about this later. But yeah.
This comes up in a horrible way later on. Bond gets away from the goons. He meets Harry Strutter, the CIA agent who was tailing him, who points out, you're sticking out like a sore thumb and all that. They get into his car, and Felix talks out of a microphone that's the car's lighter, and Bond has another great line. "A genuine Felix lighter. How illuminating."
That one's a little bit much for me.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
It's not going to be the best Felix lighter pun we're going to get in the series.
That's terrible.
I'm actually quite hopeful for it.
The other one's fucking bitchin'. It's great. I love it. So the next scene starts. Ha 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 ha. Fucking Baron Samedi just, the god of cemeteries and the chief of the Legion of the Dead who cannot die, working a dinner theater act. Some guy.
Yeah, this was like racist. That's all I can really say about it.
He pops up here and there throughout the film, largely in spots where he doesn't really do anything, but like steal the show and chew the scenery with his snazzy getup or his awesome laugh, or he's playing a flute or whatever. It's a weird fucking character.
It's a
Yeah, I have
weird
no
fucking
idea.
film.
Yeah, I have no idea really what to say about him, really, because he does. He's a very charismatic character.
He's
He doesn't
awesome.
steal a lot of the scenes that he's in, but he really doesn't do anything.
Mm-mm. He's like the biggest takeaway from this film. And if you were to say to somebody, "What does Baron Samedi do in Live and Let Die?" people are like, he's great. He's got the hat and
Laughs
he
a
doesn't
lot
die. People are like, "Yeah, but what does he do?" Nah, he laughs. It's like, he's fucking awesome though. Like, he's one of the coolest henchmen, even though he doesn't really contribute much.
I like him.
Bond's going to his hotel room, and Mrs. Bond has been expecting him. Bond really kind of plays this off as nothing. By the next scene, he's just scoping out the room, checking out the equipment.
Because he's just like, I'm gonna fuck. Don't know who yet. Happening.
Mrs. Bond, huh? All right. Well, I'm gonna draw that lover's card again. I don't really dig the gadget as much when he's checking for things and he's doing that little it kind of looks like it's a cross between like a pager and some kind of an old like Morse code type thing.
Right.
I don't really like that little gadgets. like kind of my least favorite. It seems functional, but at the same time, it's just kind of weird. He's just like, click, 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 click. He scopes out. He sees that the little button in the bed headboard or whatever is clearly a bug and whatever. He's taking a bath because we're gonna just see Bond taking a bath. He's more of a shower guy, I would think. And somebody lets a snake in the bathroom, which he dispatches in glorious fashion using aftershave and a lit cigar with a flamethrower. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something. It's some barbecued snake right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the most chilling and disturbing thing about this entire thing is Bond shaving in the bathtub.
Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like there's a sink or anything.
You would
Also, he
think.
doesn't even shave all the way, but yeah,
yeah.
he comes out and he's completely clean shaven.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically like he is really into that close shave because he barely has any stubble on him whatsoever, and he's still just shaving his whole face.
Mm-hmm. Got to keep it like smooth as possible. Before he kills the snake, we're introduced to another henchman, Whisper, that we had seen in the Pimpmobile. I love Whisper.
Yeah, he's in it for a while. He's just like, he doesn't really say, or he doesn't say much because when he does speak, he doesn't say very much because he's Whisper. So
Shall I open it? Shall I open it?
what?
He's like a teddy bear. I love Whisper.
Yeah,
I'm glad that he doesn't die. Well, he kind of does. I don't
he
know.
does.
It's implied that he probably is going to die, but you don't see him die. So I don't know. Maybe he pulls a Baron Samedi.
No, he's just trapped inside a missile.
Yeah.
Actually, they just take him away from there. They lock him up somewhere, still inside the missile.
Shoot him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like he can yell, "Hey, I'm in a locked up missile," because he'd be like, "Hey, I'm in a locked up missile. Shall you open it?" We're also introduced to Mrs. Bond, Rosie Carver. She's an agent working for Felix, and she says that she's only his second mission, or he's only her second mission. The first one was Baines, the guy who was killed.
Yeah. Bond says that's like reassuring to hear, and she seems to take that as if it's a genuine compliment.
Mm. She also loses her wig, and Bond's like, you should get your head together.
Yeah.
Go into the bathroom, and she freaks out with the snake. She shrieks, and Bond casually remarks, "Oh, I should have told you. You should never go in there without a mongoose." What the fuck kind of a line is that?
And then she's like freaking out. She's so upset to be part of this mission and stuff like that. She thinks she's going to be completely useless and all this other stuff. And then Bond decides this is the perfect opportunity to fuck.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like, oh, you are my wife. Like,
but after she says that she's going to be useless to him, he has the line, "I'm sure we'll be able to lick you into shape."
yep.
I mean, if she's Mrs. Bond, they should just catch up on old times.
That's right.
I like that she says, "Felix told me there'd be moments like this." Oh, what did good old Felix suggest? Well, if all else fails, cyanide pills. I settled for 2 bedrooms. Good little moment. And she sees, she shrieks again, and there's a hat on her head, on her bed with a bloody feather on it, and she's petrified. But Bond, ever so casually, just goes, "Oh, it's just a hat that belonged to a small-headed man of limited means who lost a fight with a chicken."
Well, if you look at the reaction where she goes, "Don't leave me tonight," well, if you insist, it's almost like you put it there. So
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll fuck you.
All right, if you insist, we'll sleep in the same room.
You do have to wonder, really, that considering what's happened to Bond in this movie, where his driver's been shot in front of him and he's been locked away in a room and he's been led away to be killed and stuff like that and managed to escape. He doesn't really seem to be taking any of these threats seriously.
No, he as much as Connery is a more brutal kind of Bond in comparison, by the time you get halfway through this film, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Roger Moore's Bond is a complete sociopath. He is dejected from humanity and just he's psychotic.
Yeah,
This dude just sort of oh, that guy died. Okay, I'm gonna laugh. Kind of like, at least Connery's Bond was, shocking, positively shocking. He kind of pops himself a little bit, but he reacts to things a little more. Pussy Galore, he's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, your name's Pussy Galore? Whereas Moore would be like, of course you are, darling. Like, kind of like,
not good over here.
Speaking of which, let's test this theory out, Next morning, Bond goes to get a boat, and he picks the sleeping guy at the docks. Rosie goes to get changed. There's that part that Rob was mentioning, me, clothes off, where? The guy acts like he's just a mute or, deaf and dumb or whatever you would want to call it back in the time. She notices, though, that there's this equipment and this gun. There's this ominous moment where he seems like he's going to strangle Bond with this rope and everything. So she points the gun at him. Turns out it's an ally, and not just any ally. It's Quarrel Jr.
I like it.
Remember when I said Quarrel is going to pop up, but not really?
Yep.
Because in the books, this came before Dr. No. So it was actually Quarrel, because he's not dead. And they're like, fuck. He's got a son. There you go.
Yeah, he's got a son who's
maybe the same age.
The real kid.
Yeah.
This is supposedly maybe a few years after Connery's thing.
Yeah, this is where you get full into the continuity is thrown out kind of thing, because Connery, you can follow it. You lose it on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but you've got still some of the characters, like Moneypenny's still the same, and whatever. So it's just kind of weird. Diamonds Are Forever, you just kind of act like whatever, just do some shit. And then with this one, you're like, Quarrel Jr. is the same age as Quarrel. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, if it was his brother or something, that'd be fine. But it's just like the fact that it's supposedly his son.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Rosie's a fucking twit, though, isn't she? She didn't even take the safety off the gun. I'm sorry, I could have shot you. You might have even killed me if you took the safety off.
She's about as bad of an actress as her character is incompetent.
Yeah.
I was not feeling this performance.
She's one of my least favorite ones, yeah.
I mean, I appreciate when you find out what her role actually is, because before that, if you actually think that she's meant to be a serious ally to Bond, then you just go, oh my god. But then you figure it out later on. It's like, oh, okay, but she's just an incompetent person in general.
Yeah, she's working for Kananga. And, before I forget, Solitaire and Rosie Carver's races. Remember I said before Diana Ross was one that they were thinking about doing for Solitaire? They swapped races. Rosie was supposed to be white. And the reason why they did that was some markets were so against interracial couples that they literally refused to show the scenes of Bond and Rosie. Like, the love scenes. They were just, cut it out of the movie. Just awful. So they were like, well, we got to make Solitaire somebody who's not black. Otherwise, we won't be able to show that in the, some markets. I think Japan might have been one of them. Maybe not. I think I was actually a lot of the ones that were in, the markets like Jamaica or something. I think might have been one of them, which is just that doesn't make any sense. But
yeah,
well, it's 73. It's still
terrible.
People are very tentative about things like that. Yes, it is terrible, but I'm trying to understand why.
I mean, it is especially weird that it's just this entire crew of black people, and there's just the one white woman in the middle of it.
Yeah,
that is just it's an odd visual.
Bond has a good little asshole line here where he says, "Beautiful, brave, and now resourceful. Rosie, you seem to be staging a remarkable comeback."
Great.
It's you're a fucking idiot, but this isn't that bad, Solitaire draws the lover's card again. She lies to Kananga, telling him it's a death card. So we're getting, the babyface turn for Solitaire there.
I don't understand why.
Because she's just the lover's card. I'm gonna fuck him. I don't know what to do here,
Yes, fuck. All right. What? God, they could have done so much better with this.
We'll talk about it. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, we just still got to get to the terrible part with that.
You're right.
But Bond's fully onto Rosie lying to him about where Baines is killed. Oh, it's over there. I thought you said that he was killed up in the hills. Up in the hills over there. How about we do a picnic? kind of thing. So they fuck again. He wants answers, and she's like, "Oh, they'll kill me if I do." And he just points his gun.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, I'll kill you if you don't.
Oh, this line is so good. It's just the fact that she's sitting there saying, "Oh, you wouldn't kill me after what we just did."
I wouldn't have
Well, I
killed
certainly
you
wouldn't have done it before.
Yeah, wouldn't have
That
killed
is
you
so good.
before.
That's such a good Bond line.
So fucking great.
That might have been like peak Bond right here.
That's if there's like a Bond line in this, that might be the Bond line, you know?
Yeah.
So she notices this little scarecrow type thing's been spying on her, so she knows she's fucked. Because at this point, Kananga sees that she's either gonna reveal it or get killed by Bond. And she tries to run off. She's killed by another little scarecrow drone with a gun in its mouth. Kind
I
of
hate to admit
weird.
it, but I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like this is not an effective character.
It's good to get rid of Rosie at that point. Kananga calls out Solitaire in the death card, and she tries to play it off. She's like, "It must have been Rosie's death. If you don't ask specific questions, I can't be responsible for your misinterpretation of the answers." You know,
Lying bitch.
just turns it on him. You know, oh, yeah, I can't talk to you when you're talking to me like this, kind of a thing.
And then he basically infers the fact that he killed her mother when she lost her own powers.
And that he fucked her. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's like, that's what makes you lose your powers. And, you know, if I want you to lose your power, I'm going to be the one who decides when to take it. And I'll take it.
I mean, just based on, again, don't want to go too far into it, but based on what Solitaire looks like and what Kananga looks like, I think it's very unlikely that he fucked her.
Oh, you mean that they're like...
Well, the fact that she's completely white and he's black, it's probably unlikely that he's her father or something like that.
Oh, no, I didn't think that they were supposed to be...
because he did say he was going to fuck her later in the movie.
Oh, okay.
No, I assume that...
Yeah, he did.
I mean, yeah, I guess that means that he probably wouldn't be the one that... I don't know. Maybe he is the one that...
If he knows that that's the thing that's the issue,
Yeah.
maybe he knows that because of what happened to her mother beforehand. Because I assume he worked with her, or he had her captive, and then she gave birth to someone else, and then she lost her powers. Which I thought was pretty weird that he waited like 9 months until afterwards to like, oh, okay, then she's gonna die now after that.
I mean, he's not that old, too. Yafukoto is, I think, 33 when they made this, so he shouldn't... I guess maybe more so he's found out about this, and this is completely unrelated to him with her mom or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird, because really, he shouldn't be that young. He should be a lot older to make this work, but... So... I don't like that. I don't like the idea that, for instance, that we've got psychic powers, but I also think it's kind of funny and weird and strange that it's like, you're going to lose the powers when you're not a virgin anymore, and I'll fuck you. I'll be the one that, you know, it's just this is weird, isn't it?
A little bit.
Bond casually smoking a cigar, hang gliding.
Yep.
Why not?
It's the thing. Then we get to the really skeevy moment.
Yeah.
Bond talks about how Solitaire really believes in the cards, doesn't she? You know, you do believe. Pick a card. And she picks the lover's card. So she's just resigned herself at this point. I drew the lover's card twice before. I drew it again. We're destined to have sex. And he's like, yep. So let's see about that. And she looks scared as all hell. But she goes along with it because the card said it. And Bond shows he's rigged the fucking deck. They're all the same card.
Yeah.
What a bastard.
So yeah, this is seduction by future Telly, essentially. So basically, it's not like she loves Bond or she cares about him or she knows anything about him at this point.
Right.
Other than the fact that she's drawn a card which says lovers to him. And so she's basically, well, the future tells me that I'm going to fuck you, so let's just go on and do it. There's no... And Bond, like you say, he stacks the deck in his favour to get this done. This is... I've got... I don't know what to do, but call it like I say. This is rape, essentially.
See...
This is, I mean, she consents to it, but she consents to it on the wrong premises.
You know what, though? If you were going to just have Bond fuck this girl and rush that. I've seen movies in this franchise already where they try to just rush right through it. At least here, they're literally just going, all right, we're going to skip here, and here's why, because you stacked the deck. Moving on.
I will
Also, where did
say
he
this
get
is
those many cards.
yeah, he must have just bought like 100 decks of the same thing to get the same card. I do think though this is a little bit easier to stomach than the Pussy Galore thing because he's literally pinning her down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Pussy Galore was
that is
great.
far more like aggressively like, okay, I'm against this.
this is
and for-
purely manipulation, and it's got a real rape victim psychological trauma vibe to it, especially when afterward. Because if you cut it and you don't do the scene afterward, this isn't all that bad overall. Because it's like,
But then
well,
you-
she drew the card first without any kind of manipulation. She drew the card a second time without any manipulation. He manipulates her, but hey, he manipulates a lot of people. But when you get to the post-sex thing, she's devastated by this. She's
Yeah.
lost her power, and Bond's like, come on, it's not that bad. Don't be all upset. And she's like, it makes no difference. A physical violation cannot be undone. Yeesh. That
Yeah,
makes
so-
it seem so, like, you know?
Yeah, so this is the thing that he's fucked the future telling out of her.
Yeah.
So she can't do that anymore. So she's basically worthless to Kananga now
Mhm.
because he can't predict the future. And then there's even the thing where he's talking to her afterwards. He says like, if we try and escape, they'll kill you. And then
Yeah.
he'll say, kill us. Just like, you just fucked the reason why he's going to kill her is because you fucked her. You fucked her entire life up. Like,
Well,
He's like,
see, but-
I was going to say I'd fuck your brains out, but I'm just going to fuck everything.
it's just ridiculous. It's the idea that he's manipulated her into bed, cost her unique special powers, and then he's basically threatening her to say, well, we better leave, otherwise they're going to kill you now. Just like, yeah, of course they're going to kill me because you fucked me. That's
you know what though? And for
And
5
then-
seconds,
No, sorry, I need. Sorry, I'll
Go ahead, go ahead.
afterwards, 5 seconds later, she's like, "Oh, should we have another lesson then?"
Yeah.
Fuck his fucking magic penis. I hate it.
So lesson number 1, there are no
we
secrets.
should- the
Lesson number
podcast
2
is done.
is that they're together till death do us parts, or somewhere abouts. And she's totally come around to the sex in that time. Yeah. Is there any time for lesson number 3? And Bond's like, well, there's no use going off half cocked.
No, Callum, that's it. The podcast series is over. Fuck his magic penis, I hear.
But that's the point. You got to fuck his magic penis.
Even if you hate it.
So at this
Magic
point,
penis just rid someone of their powers. It's like, shouldn't it have gone defective or something like that? Because, but it's just like, no, it's just like he manipulates her. He even says to her that he
Yeah.
manipulated the cards for it to happen. It's like, okay, well, want to fuck again? Just like, yeah, just
the whole rest of the movie too, she's just like, can we have sex again? Kind of like, because
just,
I mean,
don't.
we refer to it
know
as
this-
Bond's magic penis, but at this point, he's literally turned a lesbian and taken magical powers away from somebody. It's a magic penis. It is literally a magic penis.
Yeah, it's so skeevy with the fact that, like, obviously, all holding around, just like the fact that he's taken this girl's virginity as well is just like that's rich, really, for that sort of thing. It's just like it's just not good at all. The fact that Moore's probably about 20 years older than her at this point as well. He's already. I mean, it's going to get a lot worse in the future movies, but still.
Once we get the BB doll.
So
So
he's so nonplussed about it. He doesn't care that he's like basically given her a death sentence if things go wrong.
So
like,
Roger
oh,
Moore
at
was
least I don't-
born 1927, and Jane Seymour was born 1951.
So over 20 years older than she is,
Yeah,
and it's just that as well. It's just like it's like, okay, I've just given you a complete death sentence, but hey, I got my dick wet, so that's fine. It all works out in the end.
he's like, "You want to draw another card?" See what happens. So they head off. It takes a while to get to the next really big plot point of any interest for me to have written anything down. This part of the film kind of drags in my mind. The only note that I have down is that Solitaire's response to where they want to go is anywhere that they can find a bed. Anywhere you can find one of these. It's like, more sex! Give me that magic penis. And we get the return of the cab driver. Hey, Jim! Kind of guy. Fucking love that guy. He's great. He's back now.
Are we completely skipping over the chase in the double-decker bus?
No, I think that comes later, doesn't it?
No, the cab driver.
Wait, no, I think I might have skipped that, yeah.
So yeah, I know the stuff where they're going through the poppy fields. Obviously, we find out that the whole premise of this entire thing is that Kananga's a heroin dealer, or like he's part of the heroin industry. So but we skip over that side of things. They get shot at by a helicopter at one point, but that's like nothing really. Just another day in the office, really. But then they get in this double-decker bus, and I mean, it's a movie full of just completely unbelievable things. But one of the right up the top of that list is Bond being able to jackknife a double-decker bus to completely turn it 180 degrees in one fluid motion and use it to knock every single person that were chasing him on motorbikes and cars off the side of the road and stuff. And then he goes under a low bridge and loses the entire top half of it. It's like it feels like something that you would see in like a British fast movie of the 1970s or 80s. Like, oh my god, low bridge ahead, and then they just like they come through the other side and someone's hat has gone off or something like that. It's just like
with that whoop kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that is very much of the time for these really farcical British things like the Benny Hills and stuff like that. It's just right out of that playbook and just fitted into a Bond movie.
And they really liked chase sequences in this film, like you mentioned earlier. There's, the one in Harlem. There's the double-decker bus. There's the fact that Solitaire pretends that she's been kidnapped by Bond. She smacks with her handbag, and Bond's like trying to escape in a plane with Mrs. Bell, who's having flight lessons. Now, after Goldfinger, were you half assuming that this old woman's going to pull out a machine gun?
Not in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been literally anything at this point. She could have jumped out the top of it. They could have like ejected an ejector seat and send her flying out the top of it or something like that. I wouldn't have batted an eyelid out of it. But I'm more concerned about just again the build up to this, where they're in this. So he's already like fucked over these people constantly and stuff like that. But they decide, okay, we're not just going to shoot you. We're going to put you in the back of a plane and throw you out of it. That's essentially what their plan was. He's going to go skydiving. And then he manages to get out of it. And then by the time he punches a few people and he manages to get under the plane, and then we cut away to the camera and he's already halfway down the hangar in literally a second. He's managed to go from the side of the plane to almost at the completely other end of the runway.
I feel like you don't believe in James Bond.
His magic penis did it.
A 40-something-year-old. Yeah, the magic penis can't help you here. There's like a third leg.
How do you know?
He's got skills.
But Mrs. Bell is hilarious.
She has the first curse of the series. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a great line. It's just also the fact that like he severs the plane wings going forward as well. It's just the fact that he's taking off in a plane and he uses that to do a car chase with a plane. Because it doesn't take off at all.
Yeah. I like the little bit too afterward where Felix is talking to Mr. Bleecker and he's like, okay, Mr. Bleecker, yeah, I'm sure you're a veteran.
So like he then says that she ended up in intensive care after this.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, Bond.
Well, maybe he fucked her, I don't know. So
it just promises to go over there, use his magic penis, and revive her straight away afterwards.
Yeah. So Strutter's killed during another replica of the funeral parade, and I really like that they don't need to show it to you because we've seen the setup, so we know that once that guy smiles, that we know what's going to happen, and you hear the music playing, and you're like, there goes Strutter. See you, Harry. I really like that.
So when the Saints go marching in.
Yeah.
So what was the point of this guy?
To get killed and to show that not every black person in the movie is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he appears in one scene with Bond as like the guy that helps him get out of that one situation. Well, although Bond had already gotten out of the situation, he was essentially just messing with him by holding him at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And then he just dies here. It's just okay. Like I guess they had to. That was the reason that Bond ended up being there. because then they do this another hilarious thing where they're right back in the fillet of soul, and Bond says, "Oh, I know what happens if you sit in a booth. That's the problem there." And so he goes sit at the right at the front of the stage. Felix gets taken away for a little bit. There's a woman who's performing the Live and Let Die theme much better than the actual.
That's
Paul McCartney
probably
Wings
what we
version.
would have gotten with the original intention of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his seat just falls down into a trap door.
Because why not?
Again, it's just a comedy movie. Just like that is something. If it happened in an Austin Powers movie, I wouldn't bat an eyelid.
Right.
Just like saying, "Oh, I know what your trick's up to here," and he just like goes somewhere else, and then again it's another trap. That's so. But this is an actual Bond movie. This is in the series of Bond movies, and it's just doing this bullshit. It's great.
Kind of makes you wonder, is every seat rigged in some fashion, just in case?
I would love
Bond
it.
is afraid to sit down in his own home.
Bond just stands and he's like, you know what? I'm not sitting here at all. And then when he stands, like a fan pops up and pushes him to the ceiling and whatever or something. He sees right through the disguise of Mr. Big. And I mean, to be fair, how could
these
be?
arm restraints. They're not even holding his arm.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
We got to talk about how bad the prosthetic is for Mr. Big. He is the same except shiny, and that his mouth can't move. It's awful.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but I guess he had to do some sort of. Maybe the technology wasn't there at the time to do some really good prosthetic work.
Yeah. At this point in the commentary, Yaphet Kotto was talking about how he got really into. He always saw himself as potentially being able to be James Bond. So he was like, "Oh, I get to be, a Bond villain. That's pretty cool." But he got used to the idea of the catering type stuff that they did to the actors in this. So he just decided he was going to try to live like Bond. And he got so used to the lifestyle, he was only eating at certain restaurants and going to certain hotels. He had this moment of clarity like 3 years after the movie where he's like, oh my God, I got to stop trying to be Bond. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't live a lifestyle like this. And he's like, nobody can be Bond. This is absurd. I like Yaphet Kotto a lot. It's ridiculous and on all that, but I actually like Kananga as like a Bond villain.
I thought he was exceptional as a Bond villain. I think the poise, the charisma, the way that he spoke, everything like that was just so befitting of a Bond movie villain. Where at the end of the day he's not going to get the job done.
Yeah,
but he oozes that sort of swagger and confidence and conviction that really, I thought he's up there with like the top Bond villain so far.
Mm-hmm. Me too. How you feeling about him, Rob?
He was a very fun villain. I like that when he's explaining himself, he just seems so sure of himself, like he almost matches Bond in that regard. But this scene, I was immediately like, fuck all of this. Prosthetics look like shit. The arm restraints aren't holding him. I really wanted him to just be like, oh, no, I'm not even being held down here. All right. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I like the plan.
Yeah.
So his plan is that he's going to give away 2 tons of heroin for free in order to basically increase the addict, to basically cut off all the other supplies in the area and to increase the addict rate about twice over.
Yeah, he's going to flood the market for free, and the mobsters are basically going to go out of business because they're getting shit for free. So
And then he's obviously got a huge resource of heroin that he's growing right now. So it's just a case of once everyone else is out of business, he's alone in the thing. Then he's going to start, and he's got so many more addicts to sell to. Then he's going to start selling, and it's going to become even more rich for him.
It's a good plot.
It's a good plan.
It's a good plot.
And it's something that I wouldn't think a diplomat would worry himself with, but cool,
So basically, Kananga gets the watch off Bond, or he doesn't. Teehee attempts to do,
which Bond, when he's trying to do this, Teehee, the actor, I'm blanking on his name. He couldn't get it on the first thing. This was not planned at all. He just struggled with it. And Roger Moore is the one who ad-libbed the line "butterhook." And apparently he just called him that for the whole rest of the time that they were filming. He'd just be like, "Oh, hey, Butterhook, come over here." You know? I like
It's
that
a
little
good
bit.
line. It's a good ad. If it's ad lib, then that's great.
Yeah. So credit to Roger Moore for that one. That wasn't written in the script. But Kananga is going to test Solitaire's powers. If she gets the question wrong, Teehee's going to snip off Bond's pinky and then move to other more sensitive areas. And
Callum was cheering for it at this point.
We might as well frame it at this point. And
Cut
it's
off
like
his
it should be in the
penis.
museum or something.
well, when we get to another, no, I'm just kidding. Would imagine that it's just like, well, by the time we get to I don't know, Live and Let Die, or no, not Live and Let Die, we are on that one, Living Daylights. She gets it wrong, but he doesn't have Teehee snip off the pinky.
So he was teasing a little bit because I watched it first, obviously not knowing what's going to happen afterwards, and I just go because he claims that she got it right, or at least like figures out, seems to suggest that she got it right because he gives Bond his watch back and everything and lets him go for a little while. But I'm just thinking, okay, so your big ploy to figure out whether that she is telling the truth and she can still see the future or not is to ask her one 50-50 question.
Yeah, yes or no. But then he does the whole thing of like, I gave you every chance. You had a 50-50 shot and you got it wrong. So they knock out Bond because, you know, he's just sort of like, oh, well, she's got her powers, so I guess I'll fuck off. Ow. You know?
And then Solitaire's big excuse is the cards made her fuck him.
Yeah. The cards did it.
Well, they
I mean, they did, yeah.
They did.
I mean, to be fair, him and the cards made her fuck him.
Yeah.
This was the most... Okay, so the slapping women throughout this series has been uncomfortable, but this was the most over-dramatic, like, wind-up for a snack here that Why is this movie such a comedy?
At least it's not Bond smacking her, right?
Yeah, at least he's a villain. At least I'm supposed to hate him for knocking her down.
Yeah, but like he does this ridiculous wind-up thing, like
oh yeah, it is completely over the top. And then you have just Samadhi makes one of his cameos in the background, just holding a death card. Oh,
just like ha 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 ha, I'm here. Bond gets knocked out. They say, "See you later, alligator."
Oh, by the way, Callum, that was at the point where he says, you know, when the time came, I basically saying I would have fucked you when the time came.
Like, oh, why'd you fuck Bond? I would have fucked you.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Like, yo, I was supposed to do that.
He's like, no, that was mine.
Give him the watch. I don't even want it.
Yeah.
No.
Fine, take her. I'm going to have a new Solitaire with Blackjack.
A new Solitaire. It's called Blackjack.
And she's a hooker.
No, you've already got a hook. He's got two. It's called Teehee.
There you go. And then Whisker whispers like, me. Stand. So we're back in a while, Crocodile. And Bond refers to the baby crocs as potential overnight bags.
Again, it's just another one of these instances that's like just so atypical of the Bond franchise, where it's just like he gets led out into the water by Teehee, giving him like some sort of encyclopedic guide to crocodiles and alligators. Like, this is the point where we learn about reptile biology.
Did you know that there are two ways of disabling a crocodile?
I learned in this movie.
One way is to take a pencil and jam it into the pressure hole behind its eye. The other way is twice as simple.
Looks for a pencil in his pocket.
Yeah. He's what's the other way or whatever? Oh, it's twice as simple. You just put your hand in your mouth and pull out all their teeth.
So it was also revealed that Teehee, the reason why he has one robotic arm is because an alligator took his real arm off.
Yeah.
So Big Albert.
At this point, I was confused by the random lesson we were getting here. I'm like, wait, is he just like, here, Bond, yeah, you're good. Look at our alligators. We've got parents too. And I'm thinking, what the fuck?
Well, see, there's a thing with this movie, which is really weird. It's more so with Kananga than anybody else, but I don't know if you guys get this impression. I kind of feel like Kananga wants to be Bond's friend.
No, I think he wants to I think he wants to appear as Bond's equal, and he wants to like show that he's a civil, because obviously he's a diplomat and stuff like that, So he does have that as his actual career because he's put the Mr. Big character on to do his misdeeds on the other side. So I guess he feels like he's a very civil and actual gentleman villain.
We do
And he
get
just sees
another
respect with Bond with that.
and we do get another villain in the next film that even more so does this whole I want to be friends with Bond type of thing to an even bigger level. But I do kind of like think that it's kind of funny to think that in a slightly altered version of the script, it's like, oh, dude, show Bond the Crocs. This is great. This is awesome. Yo, look at my alligators. Isn't this neat? Kind of thing. Like,
Again, it's just another situation where just fucking shoot the guy, and
Yeah.
then we're just going to lead him out into the middle of a rock where he's surrounded by alligators and crocodiles.
You know what it is? It's I forget the movie, but I had said that it's all these nerds, like, oh man, this is so cool. That's kind of like Bond is like King Nerd here, and they're just like, I want to impress him. I don't really want him to die. I just want him to like me.
I want Bond to be like, you are the coolest when he dies. Yeah.
And then Bond escapes by running over the back of alligators.
We can't skip past that. First, I really like the little bit where he uses his magnet watch and you think he's going to get the boat,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
that's
tied
right.
up, so he's fucked. Because it's like, you're thinking at that point, oh, he's going to just do that and that's how he gets away. And they're like, nope, got to figure out another thing. And instead, he walks on a couple crocodiles to the other side, wearing crocodile shoes, mind you, which was an idea of Roger Moore's. When have I got crocodile, alligator shoes or whatever?
Well, he's a sadistic bastard in real life.
Yeah. So it's like he is a sociopath. Now, the stuntman and the crocodile wrangler who did this stunt, for real, 6 times before he got it right. He was paid $60,000, and the amount of times that the crocodiles gnawed on him, he ended up getting 193 stitches on his leg and face.
So you see, for that amount of money, I'd drive you to a KKK cookout.
Yeah. And instead, for that amount of money, jump on crocodile 6 times.
I can't believe that's real.
It's
I
fully
literally
fucking
just-
real.
I can't believe they made him run across real crocodiles.
They
Who
used
the
a
fuck-
rubber snake.
Yeah, they had a plastic snake earlier and stuff like that. So why did they think that this was the part that had to go super realistic? No, it has to be real crocodiles. We can't just have fake, like, create some fake crocodiles. It's not like fucking Jaws comes out prior to this or something like that.
That's just one of those things. I don't know. The guy, by the way, is named Ross Kananga. That's where they got the inspiration of the name for the villain, because he's
Nice.
named Bonaparte something, whatever, in the book. And they just liked him so much that they're like, let's name the villain after him, whatever. Ross Kananga's father, eaten by alligators. And the guy
No.
still has this as his job.
No, you're lying.
I'm not fucking lying. He's an alligator wrestler, wrangler, crocodile dude, or whatever.
That's
And it's
fucking
like, Dad
insane.
got eaten by alligators. I guess I'm gonna still do it. Yeah, I'll jump on him
Wow.
6 times. And you know what's even weirder? It only took him 6 times to get the part, to get the stunt right. Guess how many times it took him to get the magnet zipper right with the dress?
10.
About 50 times.
29.
No.
Uh,
It took him more to get the dress to get unzipped than the guy to walk on crocodiles.
I'm just blown away by this story of his dad being eaten by alligators, and that's his job. It's like Robert Irwin opening a specific manta ray exhibit or something like that.
It's insane, isn't it? You would never think that this was a real thing, and with all that stuff to go along with it, it just makes it so much better. And for him to just be like, I got paid $60,000. I walked on crocodiles a couple times. 193 stitches on his leg and his face because they got pissed. Like, you're jumping on them.
You don't say. They got pissed.
No.
And they're just like, fuck you, dude. Stop jumping on us. We're going to.
They're not Donkey Kong villains, Tony. They're not
Right.
just gonna go, oh, and then go.
Yeah. It's insane. And that's like, of course, arguably the biggest stunt of the whole film. You know, the thing that it's like the biggest takeaway, but it leads to a boat chase, which has that other insane type of things going on with it. In the script, all that was written was scene 156, the most terrific boat chase you've ever seen. That's it.
So this is like really gets into Duke of Hazzard territory, right?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we meet Sheriff J.W. Pepper, rootin' tootin', as southern as the day is long, cowboy hat sporting, tobacco chewing, out of shape racist hell of a son of a gun.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to do in 2021 where you get to watch some good old fashioned police brutality in the where he just like decides to pull over the black guy. Basically says, "Oh, that's a nice set of wheels you got. If they're yours," just like, okay, that's gonna.
I'm sure this ain't exactly your debut at this sort of thing.
10 fingers on the bender.
Calling all the black characters boy and all this.
Yeah, spitting on his hand when he's got his hands on the thing.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're beyond those days.
We're not in the series.
Oh fuck!
Not even in real life, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Well, that was the joke, and then Tony had to say not in the series.
Yeah, but yeah, this Slackjaw joke, Bond at one point his boat flies over and one of the villains destroys his patrol car with the boat. Like,
the jump made the Guinness Book of World Records and stood for 3 years.
Longest speedboat jump ever.
110-foot jump.
Wow.
So the cop car's crashed on. The police radio has this thing afterward. J.W. Pepper is done with that guy, and it's hey, there's this woman who's got this dog that's foaming at the mouth. She's got it locked up in the shed, and she wants to know if you'd like to come over and shoot it for her.
Well,
What the fuck?
Again, it's so. I mean, the actual context of it is just like scary in that regard. But
Right.
it's still another just comedy thing. It's just basically just saying like, oh, why don't you come down and do this really rudimentary thing when you're like this big tough sheriff and stuff like that. And he just like he goes and like requisitions another patrol car, and then there's just so much more. There's so much bullshit in this entire chase. It's ridiculous.
They could have cut this or one of the other things out. They could have. I think that obviously the more important thing probably would have been to cut out the double-decker bus thing. Just kind of speed things along. But he's got a brother-in-law, Billy Bob. Of course, he's named Billy Bob, who's got the fastest boat. When they see the black guy, because he gets taken out by one of the goons, the other cops are confused as fuck because it's like, that's his brother-in-law.
Oh no, we have to talk about just slightly before that is when like Bond's the original speedboat, his engine starts to die because an errant bullet caught the engine, and so he manages to pull up the boat on a country club essentially, and then the villains overspeed it, and then they get trapped in the swimming pool of the country club, and Bond just steals another person's, just a random person's speedboat and gets going again.
I think in every single Roger Moore film, I don't know for sure, I know it's at least in this, Spy Who Loved Me, and Moonraker, there is some kind of an action sequence of a chase where something happens where the public reacts to it. Like how where they take out the cake and the bride cries.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was even the bigger one. Just Bond just decided just going to sigh through a wedding at one point. Just like get the boat off again. Just goes overland, no problem to the rudder or the engine rotor or anything like that. It just goes straight through the land, go through the middle of a wedding. Another villain crashes through the cake and crashes through a canopy, and the bride starts crying. It's just like, okay, am I literally watching a carry-on film from the 1970s? That's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Just like, this is not serious. Why are you asking me to take this seriously?
Now, I'm not saying I want this to happen at my wedding later this year. But
Callum, that's your job. You're the British one.
You know, if you want to get a speedboat and do that with the Live and Let Die soundtrack playing or something, at the very least, it'll be like, okay, it happens in real life. You know?
I'm trying to think of a good pun that I could do at that point.
So maybe like since he bashes through the cake, it'd be like, well, somebody had to cut the cake. You know,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking right now. But I was trying to see if I can make some sort of nautical thing related to it.
I don't know any nautical type things. There's a line here. Eventually, the crash, the sequence ends, and JW says, "What are you, some kind of a doomsday machine, boy?" I go, "JW, this fella's from London, England. He's a sort of secret agent. Secret agent on whose side?" The fuck? I hate JW Pepper.
Yeah, he's awesome. But do we talk about how he disposed of the henchman that was trailing him? The Bond somehow is quicker to throw a bucket of water in the guy's face than that guy to pull a trigger on a shotgun.
Yeah. These movies.
I really think like you need to start believing in Bond, Cal.
Well, at least I know this at the very least. I know it was a Bond movie because the fucking boat goes up another bigger boat and blows up, so they had to get one explosion in this entire movie.
Then we're pretty much at the climax. Because it's just like chase sequence. You can say, all right, let's get to the end of this kind of a thing. The Baron Samedi ritual with him rising out of the grave is really cool, I think. It's a statue. Bond shoots it. It explodes, you know. But I like that because the people are kind of like, oh, yeah, cool. Like Baron Samedi's raised from the dead. And it's just this little mechanism. They're just, you know, totally getting the wool over their eyes.
Yeah. It's just prior to that, Quarrel had been setting mines in the poppy fields, and Bond was waiting for that to happen. He was just watching Solitaire with this man with the poisonous snake in front of her for ages. Just like, yeah, just got to wait until the bomb goes off. Can't rush this too much at the moment.
So he rescues her from getting bitten by that snake. The poppy fields are destroyed. And another Baron Samedi pops up. This time it's the real guy. And Bond fights with him with a machete for about 3 seconds, knocks him into a coffin filled with snake, and he's dead. He's just like,
just like, this guy has done nothing this entire movie except just laugh and like be charismatic, and then he just has one fight scene with Bond where he's blocked with the machete, punched in the gut, uppercutted into a coffin full of snakes, and then just writhes around for 10 seconds and dies. And this, I've heard the name Baron Samedi before I saw this movie, and I just think, this is it. This is the guy everyone talks about.
Now, Geoffrey Holder, the actor who plays Baron Samedi, he was like a dance choreographer, like a real popular one in, I think it might have been Jamaica. So he was never really like an actor. I don't know if that played into the fact that they would have given him, like, maybe they would have combined Whisper and Baron Samedi or something like that, but he's very much more a visual kind of thing instead of actually like a deep character for sure.
It goes to say something when I watch this and think, yeah, I would have been more threatened if Papa Shango was in this movie instead.
That's what Papa Shango is based off of.
Yeah, that was
see why it failed.
So what were you guys thinking at this point now that Baron Samedi is dead? Just like you said, like you're just disappointed, like, oh, that's it?
Fucking
Can we end this already at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. Like this, I thought Diamonds was going to be right above Dr. No pretty much forever. I know. No, I did not like this film. I don't know. It just did not feel important. Like I said, it felt like a filler film, really, in this franchise.
So we get a little bit more action, blah, blah, blah. I love the moment where Bond's explaining the compressed air gun pellets and everything to Kananga. And Kananga shoots the couch that Whisper's on just for a laugh. And he's just like, this is great. Like, we're buds. We're talking about our gadgets here. Look at this fucking Whisper. Haha. Like, kind of thing. I love Kananga.
Laughing. He's super excited about the gun and all that other stuff. And then he I do like the bit where it's like Felix is sitting with a Quarrel on the boat trying to wait to do his getaway, and he says, "Oh, he must be tied up somewhere," and then immediately cuts to Roger Moore tied to just a little crane thing.
And Kananga cuts Bond's arm. He's planning on lowering him into the water with Solitaire, and that sharks are going to eat them. And I forget the line. I didn't write it down, but something about like yeah, don't you need a deeper cut or something? And he's like, oh, those cuts are gonna find you to be very fatal or whatever.
Yeah, he says like, you'll find those cuts to be very faithful, and he basically says something along the lines of, I don't suppose you'll have enough time to drown. And he's about to go into the water.
Yeah.
Also, I just have to ask about this again, because I brought this up, I think, in I'm trying to remember which movie it was. It was before. Oh, it was the one before Tomorrow. Not I'm getting all my Bond movies mixed up on the top of my head. Thunderball. Yeah, I believe it was Thunderball, where oh no, it's the one after Thunderball.
You only live twice.
Yeah, You Only Live Twice, where the femme fatale has him trapped in the plane and he just breaks through it because it's wood.
Yeah.
Just figure, could you not have anything stronger than just plain old rope to tie him to the thing?
Well, he gets out of it using the magnet watch, which apparently has a little saw on it that we've never seen.
Yeah, it's a spinning saw blade as well. It's just
Yeah.
like everything is multifunctional.
And
you
he
ever
gets
see the it's like a college humor sketch where it's revealed that all of Batman villains were paid by Alfred to make Bruce feel better about his life. Is that not what this feels like? Where everybody's just like, "Nah, we're gonna make this easy on Bond because he's Bond and he's so cool. He's so cool." Like,
yeah.
fuck.
Well, yeah, but I'm also feeling like the sort of thing. It's sort of like, well, Bond, this gadget is a pen, but it's also a gun, and it's also a flashlight, and it's also
Yeah.
it's also a sedative, and it's also stuff like, it's just like all this fucking stuff. It's just like this. So basically, I just said, okay, so here's this watch that can basically do everything to get you out of every situation you find yourself in.
But if M was looking at that, he would have been like, is that all it does?
You asshole. I'm tired of playing these games.
Where's my fucking spoon?
Can you make coffee as well?
Yeah. He also gets one of the air bullets with magnet that we use a little bit later on. And I like that when Bond escapes, Whisper can't yell out, look out, because he's Whisper. So he's just like, look out. You know, a nice little touch. But Bond dispatches of Kananga by forcing the bullet into his mouth, and Kananga inflates like a balloon, flies up to the ceiling, and explodes. And Bond has the quip, he always did have an inflated opinion about himself. It is one of the absolute, if not the worst, effects of the entire franchise. It's a fucking balloon.
Flying out of a fucking window was bad.
Yeah, this is awful. I don't know if it still does. It still, for me, doesn't beat the bits in You Only Live Twice, where you just see like the woman jumping out the plane, and you can just see her just falling down with the plane in the background and stuff like that. And some of the explosions in the last movie as well were terrible, and Diamonds Are Forever are terrible. But yeah, it's just an inflated doll going into into the roof and just blowing up, and then you just see scattered bits of his body in the water.
Just it's a hell of a way to go, you know, like trying to figure out, how do we write this film? Okay, well, what do we do to dispatch the main villain? How about he turns into a balloon, flies up to the ceiling, and pops? Like, damn.
And then like Solitaire just says like, James, how do we get out of this situation? He just says, we'll take the train, because there's a little monorail thing there as well, and it's just, and then it just cut, and then he's on an actual train.
Yeah.
But okay, there's no like daring escape or anything like that. It's just like, okay, we're just gone.
Felix asks what Bond and Solitaire can do on a train for 16 hours. And Bond says, say goodbye to Felix, darling. Solitaire, I don't know if this still holds up. I think it does. Is the only person to beat Bond in a game of cards.
Well, that was her life.
Yeah. She beats him on the train.
Gin rummy.
And Bond is like, unlocking cards kind of thing. And he's on the train. And he flips Solitaire in the bed into the wall unit type thing and cue fight sequence. Not as good as From Russia with Love for my money, but still pretty entertaining.
This is the best scene in the entire movie. This is the only scene that feels like a fucking Bond scene. Outside of obviously Bond just fucking everything that moves, or pulse or anything like that. The only other thing that feels realistically like a Bond thing is this fight scene, because it's not like Moore isn't as coordinated or as physical as Connery is. but every fight he has in this movie feels really, really choreographed. But like, he gets physical. He actually looks like he's angry in this fight scene, whereas the rest of them, he's just been a bit either bewildered or not really caring at all. And then he manages to, like, he's getting in choked up against the window and stuff like that, and there's breakages of windows and all that other stuff. And Bond then just manages to find some wire cutters conveniently placed somewhere. Don't know where they came from.
I think it's like the makeup kit and whatever that she has or something, or maybe it's his kit.
And then, but uses it to cut a couple of wires, which locks his arm in place on a window.
Yeah,
that's just a nice work of his own mechanics with his arm.
He flips him out of the train.
Yep, just hoofs him out the train, just throws him over. The arm's left there. Just lets go of the arm, and then there's the line, "Tony, I'll let you say it because you're the pun guy."
Oh, wait, were you going all the way to that? Because note that I've got next is Bond flips Solitaire back.
Oh yeah, he flips Solitaire back, and Solitaire thinks that Bond was the one that did it in the first place.
Yeah, she's just like, that wasn't funny, whatever, and he casually, he tosses Teeh's arm away, and he's like, I'm just being disarming.
And then we just see a shot of Baron Samedi sitting on the front of the train.
He's alive. He's laughing. The fuck? The end. It's like,
love it.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you want me to say about this movie anymore. We talk through the entire thing, but like, I just don't. I've watched the entire thing. We've just spent the last hour plus talking about it, and I still don't fucking know.
It's very clear that this is just a cash cow right now. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just like, we can throw anything at the wall and it'll stick because it's Bond.
I have this, I've done my tier list before. I've seen these movies a million times. As far as my rankings that I'm going here, it's my number 3. Because it's just a fun movie. I would rather watch Live and Let Die than to watch Dr. No on Her Majesty's Secret Service, whatever. I'm not saying that it's quality. But I'm talking as far as personal enjoyment. From Russia with Love and Goldfinger are number 1 and number 2 because quality does factor in. But then Live and Let Die comes above Thunderball for me. I'd rather watch Live and Let Die than Thunderball.
That's insane. Very insane. This was these movies are too long to be this disjointed. I was very glad to see the credits roll here.
Well, where are you ranking it on your list?
It's below Diamonds, above Dr. No.
Really? You like Diamonds better?
Diamonds felt more like a Bond film. I didn't think so at the time, and then you showed me this.
I like that we got a real disparity going on here. I got it ranked higher, Rod's got it ranked lower, and Callum's in the middle.
Yeah, I have it below Dr. No and above From Russia with Love on my thing, so it's currently 5th out of the 8 that I've seen so far.
It's terrible.
Like I say, it was an enjoyable watch. It's just it's not
batshit crazy.
I don't care what you say about this, and I know what we're going to get for the rest of this franchise, especially with more in it. But I'm just going to feel like I'm going to come out of this and thinking, yeah, these aren't Bond movies. I mean, they are a very specific Bond movie. It's a Roger Moore Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a very, very different animal to basically any other thing we're going to see in this entire franchise. And I'd say I enjoyed watching it, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the Moore journey just because I know it's going to be even more ridiculous than this.
It does get more ridiculous.
And that's why I'm going to enjoy, get some perverse pleasure out of it. But I don't think actually we want to go on the ranking side of it. I can rank it high just because, even though I personally enjoy it, I can't shake away from the fact it's yeah, but I've seen parody movies that are taken more seriously than this. Really, just
yeah, it's
not great.
I'm curious to see how the ranking of Live and Let Die goes when we're done with Roger Moore's films, because when you start getting more into the rhythm of the Moore stuff, then it becomes you almost have to rank the Roger Moore films as different movies compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Like,
I imagine they'll all be towards the middle or bottom for me.
when we get to like License to Kill, I mean, if this is more of an Austin Powers, License to Kill is Lethal Weapon without the comedy. Like, that was the first one that got PG-13 because they were like, we can't say that this is PG. Characters are dying in weird ways in this one, like that. Yeah, it's too brutal and stuff. Like, vastly different film than something like Live and Let Die, which a lot of people Moore is their favorite because this is their favorite type of Bond. Like, the more he's suave and sophisticated and charming and goofy. Moore isn't my favorite Bond. My favorite
Brosnan's not everybody's favorite Bond. I don't know.
Because like I think if you like the goofiness of Moore, you tend to like Brosnan better. If you think Moore is too goofy, but you like the charm and a little bit of the humor, Brosnan's probably your favorite Bond. If Connery, the more cutthroat type of guy, is there, you tend to like Connery and Craig and Dalton. It kind of seems like where people's opinions tend to go.
I mean, I do have to ask Rob about this. So based on what Tony has told us at the very least, obviously we'll get our own views when we actually watch the movies, but you've got Live and Let Die as like your second to last one, and this is arguably in many people's eyes probably one of the best Moore movies. Are you concerned that Dr. No won't be at the bottom for very long?
Oh, it's possible, especially with the way Tony talks about Moonraker.
I'm just waiting for Octopussy because that is going. Because from what I remember from that movie, that is going way down.
I mean, it's very possible by the end of this, Dr. No is firmly in the middle of my list.
And I want you to try to keep in mind, too, the criticisms of all these going forward, because it's hard because there's 25 fucking movies. But, like, try not to lose track of the fact that Dr. No was boring. And, like, the way that they shot some of the stuff and that they had, like, let's speed up the action for this kind of thing. Because there's goofy elements of every single Bond film, except for pretty much, like, kind of GoldenEye and the Craig stuff and License to Kill. But, like, there's very goofy elements here and there. And we are firmly, once we got to Diamonds Are Forever, we are firmly in the let's go for a laugh riot kind of thing for all the way up until The Living Daylights. Living Daylights is the next one that gets where it's like, okay, let's start to get Bond back, I guess, in a little way.
Yeah. I actually just when you were saying that, I just reminded, it just like compelled me to Live and Let Die one up to number 4 on my rankings.
Above Doctor No. Oh yeah, I see that you just did that because remembering that it was kind of boring.
I'm not as much of a critic of Dr. No as like Rob and you are in that regards, but I kind of feel like if I was going to watch one of these movies again, it probably would have been Live and Let Die. So, so it gets a little bit of a bump up there. It's not going any higher than that.
I think that's the reason Dr. No is at my bottom, just because I don't think I would watch that movie again. There's some of these I definitely would. Maybe even Live and Let Die. If it's an isolated incident away from this series that we're doing, where we're introducing ourselves to Bond and going through this, maybe I'd watch Live and Let Die again. But Dr. No, I don't think I ever would.
Like I said, I'm very curious to see by the time we get done with The Man with the Golden Gun, because there's some wacky shit with The Man with the Golden Gun. But you get like Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill. By the time we're done all those Moore ones, I'm curious to see if everybody goes, man, Live and Let Die was great. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure we will.
I certainly hope not.
So let's talk about some of the other elements here. The gadgets. We've got the hotel room equipment. Not really big on that, but it's just a thing.
I mean, I do enjoy that they've carried on the trend of Bond is always scoping out his hotel room.
Yeah.
I do love his rudimentary method of using a grape to disable one of the buttons.
I enjoyed that.
That's Bond and grapes. That's a the second time out of 3, I think, in the series where grapes factor. It's just,
Do we count his coffee machine as a gadget?
maybe.
I would. Fucking M seems so pissed about it. Yeah.
Right. For the time, it's like, wow, this is a complicated machine. It's making espresso and whatever. He's got his digital watch and his magnet watch. Digital watch at the time, everybody was like, oh, I gotta have one of those. I love the magnet watch. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a top-notch gadget.
Excellent. I love the fact they introduce it early so you know what it is going on and you know what it does, and then it does it for the whole movie, and it's great.
And you get a fake out with the boat, with the croc scene, but you get the actual, like, it does bring the bullet. So it could deflect the bullet. It doesn't deflect the bullet, but it brings one to him. I don't know if you would count the hang glider. Not really, but it is kind of one of those moments. The pressurized bullets, the shark gun. It's not really a big factor, but it leads to a funny death. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ultimate climax. It's the thing that kills the villain in the end. So yeah, it's an important gadget.
Is that it? Oh no, we got the genuine Felix lighter in the car.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Pop, just for the pun.
On the girls, we've got Miss Caruso. She's just, a woman to bed at the beginning of it. She's not really that much of a factor. We're all going thumbs down on Rosie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because she was so inept. I mean, because you can kind of see past the ineptness because she was not actually a CIA agent. But then you kind of think, well, why did Kananga use her instead? Couldn't she find someone that could actually do the job properly?
Right. And I go thumbs up on Solitaire.
Thumbs all the way up. Gorgeous. She played her role right in the film. I really enjoyed Solitaire.
Go like a slight thumbs up. She's pretty much like useless in the movie. I mean, she's
good
a
eye
big,
candy though.
I mean, Bond renders her useless by fucking her. But yeah, she's in it the entire movie. You get to know about her. She plays the role well enough. There's no like offense to like Jane Seymour or anything like that. It just feels like the character was a bit inert, really.
Well, imagine if he would have done that with other people in the series. Like Pussy Galore has sex with Bond, and she's like, I don't remember how to fly a plane. Just like any skills that they have, they lose immediately. Dr. Christmas Jones, when we get to her, she's like, I'm a nuclear physicist, and they sleep together, and she's just sort of like, what's radiation?
I mean, in Pussy Galore's defense, like the plane windows had all been knocked out when she was trying to fly that plane. So
yeah, she's got skills in that. She doesn't lose them.
No,
she just loses her preference. On the Allies side, we don't get Q. So that sucks. Mm-hmm. This is one of the only ones that Q is not in. And we get M and we get Moneypenny.
M is a salty old man, and Moneypenny's as helpful as ever.
Yeah, they're fine. And again, it's hard to really rank them because they're in it for so briefly.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Harry Strutter and Quarrel Jr. and Felix?
Completely useless. Well,
yeah,
Felix not so much, but
yeah, Felix is involved. I don't think he does. He's still a bit incompetent. He doesn't really do everything correctly. Strutter is completely useless. There's no reason for him to be in the movie other than the fact to say, "Hey, this black guy's all right."
And Quarrel, same thing. Meet the man who shares my hairbrush.
At least Quarrel does something in the movie in terms of like planting all the bombs, so he does help out. He is the one that rids all the heroin plants and stuff like that. So yeah, he at least is actively involved, and he survives. So that's good.
Yeah, you know how like in Dr. No, Quarrel's dad's like, I don't go there. There's a dragon there. And in this one, Quarrel's like, nobody goes up to there. She's got the powers of the Obia. And he's like, I know from my dad. I ain't fucking going there. If there's an island that somebody has a legend and you die if you go there, staying away. That dragon killed my dad. I'm doing that. Villains, we've got Whisper. I think he's great.
He's a good henchman.
Good henchman.
Teehee's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Baron Samedi, terrible kind of character, but great. I love him.
Very charismatic, completely
He's
useless.
fun. Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Kananga. Not as much Mr. Big. but Kananga, the complete package. I really like Kananga.
He might be my favorite villain in the whole franchise so far.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. He seems. It's a shame that he's in a filler because he's a very good villain.
Action, humor. I'm a little down on some of the action because I don't love the chase sequences in the films as much. I'm more into like the fight sequences and the shooting sequences more than the chases. And this is lots of chase, but they're good. They're fine. There's better ones.
Yeah. The chases have got a lot of stuff going on in there. Bond himself in his actual action sequences where he's got a fight and stuff like that, I just think it's terrible. But he doesn't know how to. You can tell by this one, Maud has no idea how to fight. And but the only really good one is the final fight with Tee. Other than that, his fights were very, very poorly choreographed.
Yeah, I would agree with everything Callum just said there.
I'm giving a thumbs up on the humor, though.
I mean, how can you not?
Right?
Yeah.
But that's all this movie's got going for.
I think when it's all said and done, my favorite line is the sheer magnetism, because that's just so shitty.
No, I mean, my favorite line is the bit where he's with Rosie and he says that he wouldn't have killed her before.
Oh yeah, that would have killed you before.
That is the ultimate, like, okay, that's how Bond sees women, like.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have killed you before.
You like Felix Leiter.
Yeah, there's so many good lines in this. Music, I don't really love. I don't like the score, and like we talked about the main theme, it's one of my lesser favorite ones.
I still think you're wrong for that, but
I have it in my collection. Like I listen to it. I like the song, but I don't like it as a Bond theme.
I enjoyed the music. I just thought that they played "Live and Let Die" too much.
Yeah, I can't look beyond the "what does it matter to you" part. It just irks me. So I love the rest of the song, and again, the music is like here or there for me. It doesn't really pay too much of an influence, but yeah, I can't give it a thumbs up based on just that one part of the song. It really, really just throws it off for me. The rest of it's great. Like it's just that one part that just really makes me just go, "Oh, why do you do this?" It's just it's not so much I hate it; it's more I'm just so disappointed by it.
It feels like it's 4 different songs. Because you got like the kind of more romantic one. You've got this boppy Beatles kind of pop track. You got this sweeping action thing. You got this bang, bang kind of angry thing. It's like they wanted to do everything and they didn't decide on which facet they wanted to emphasize more.
I forgot who you said this, but whoever said that's good for a demo. Now when are you gonna do the real one? Is the right way to go.
Yeah, it was the director. And then Paul McCartney's like, no, this is what I want. And Kanaga's like, I get it. I want it, So are we going shaken, not stirred? I'm saying shaken. It's a fucking weird movie, but I love it.
I'm saying stirred for now. I wonder if that'll change.
I think I'm just on the side of shaken right now, mainly because the villains were so good. And I still think I would still consider Dr. No the shaken one. The only 3 that I consider the stirred of From Russian with Love, Diamonds Are Forever, and You Only Live Twice. And so if that's on the positive side of things, then so be it.
So yeah, that's it's Live and Let Die. It's one that is one of the more infamous. I don't know which one you would go with. Lots of people, it's one of their favorites. Lots of people, it would be like somewhere in the middle. Lots of people probably would have a lot of things that would hate about it, to varying extents. Make sure you guys let us know what you think about Live and Let Die in the comments. And if you are interested in following some more stuff, you are not just checking out the Bond things that we have going on here, but you want to follow us on other things. I am at Tony Mango. And I've got the other stuff that's on Fanboys Anonymous. I've also got the stuff on smarkoutmoment.com for the pro wrestling stuff. Go ahead and check out everything that's over there. Just go to smarkoutmoment.com and you'll see the podcast stuff and the website stuff and everything and the Facebook and Twitter and blah, blah, blah. And these guys do stuff on the pro wrestling side as well. Rob?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at DudeFelice. You can follow me on Twitch at DudeFelice. I don't know if that'll be up by the time we're doing this, so just check that out. Check me out on Fightful.com. Check me out on WrestleZone.com. Check out the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast in the archives. But to tell you more about that, here's Callum Wiggins.
Yeah, so by the time you listen to this, the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast is probably long gone at this point, well, at least a few weeks out of there. But that was where me and Rob went back into a retro series where we checked out every episode of SmackDown that Paul Heyman was the head writer for. So yeah, there's a good, probably around about 40 episodes there that you can check out on the smartcatmoment.com channel. Just a complete playlist there that you can listen to all the way through. Me and Rob will hopefully be kicking off another project soon. Maybe even by the time you're listening to this, we'll have that new project underway. But yeah, we're still going to be keeping doing some retro stuff over on the Smart Cat Moment side of things. So stay tuned for that, as well as every other thing we're doing every week and weekend, potentially when there's a big show going on. And check out all the articles on smartcatmoment.com. Power rankings is what I contribute, but there's a ton of weekly content going out there. So make sure you check that out. And follow me on Twitter at Weekmeister14.
And also stay tuned, everybody, because James Bond and the Review to Kill podcast will return with The Man with the Golden Gun.